بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأصلي وأسلم على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين. We are still with the companions, may Allah be pleased with them. And tonight we will be discussing one of those companions, and we start with a companion female, and that is Sawdah Bint Zam'ah radiyallahu anha. She is Sawdah Bint Zam'ah ibn Qais ibn Abd Shams Qurayshiyah. She is from Quraysh, and her mother was called Ash-Shamus, and she was from the Ansar. The first husband of hers was a Sakran ibn Amr, and he is the brother of Suhaib ibn Amr. Her husband, he died, and then the Prophet ﷺ, he married her, and she was the first wife of the Prophet of Allah after Khadijah. And if you remember with me when we talked about Aisha, how Khawla bint Hakim, she said to the Prophet ﷺ, shall I get you married to a virgin and also to a thayyib, a non-virgin? And she went to Abu Bakr and asked for the hand of Aisha, and she succeeded. And then she went to Zam'ah, the father of Sawdah, and who was not a Muslim, and also she succeeded by asking her hand. So she got him to be married to Sawdah, and straight away after that to Aisha. Sawdah bint Zam'ah radiallahu anha wa ardaha, when she got old, she was afraid that the Prophet ﷺ would divorce her. So she said to him, O Messenger of Allah, hold me as a wife and make my date for Aisha. And this is when the verse in Surah An-Nisa, number 128, was revealed. فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِمَا أَن يُصْلِحَا بَيْنَهُمَا صُلْحًا وَالصُّلْحُ خَيْرٌ. And there is no harm upon them, that is the husband and the wife, to make a reconcile, something that is an agreement, and the agreement is good. And when the Prophet ﷺ was asked by her to give her night to Aisha, he agreed. So he was her husband in the dunya, and he will be her husband in the akhirah. And that is why she said to the Prophet ﷺ, that is, I was eager to be the wife of the Prophet of Allah when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent me on the day of resurrection. Also we find Aisha radiallahu anha wa ardaha, she narrates about Sawdah when she had taken permission from the Prophet of Allah and the Hajj, and this is the farewell and the only Hajj that the Prophet of Allah performed on the night of Muzdalifah. That is to go ahead and throw her jamarat from the Muzdalifah at midnight, and not to wait until the people would push after the sunrise or after the Fajr, and they would throw the stone after sunrise, because she was afraid of the stampede, and because she was a heavy woman, as described by Aisha. I mean, she was weighty person. Prophet of Allah given her permission to go ahead and to go before the people start leaving, and that is to go after midnight. And this is a concession from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the people who are not able to make the going on the morning after Fajr, not to stay until Fajr in Muzdalifah. And staying until Fajr is a pillar, except for those who are incapable. And Aisha, she said, if I had actually taken permission from the Prophet of Allah, just like Sawdah, she'd taken permission, and I would have been, it is better for me. Aisha radiallahu anha, she said, verily no woman would be better for me than Sawdah. But she used to be in a tempered woman. And soon she would straight away rectify and would go and return back from what she had done. I mean, that when she's tempered, if she done something wrong, she would apologize. Sawdah radiallahu anha, she said to the Prophet ﷺ, I have prayed behind you one night, and I have bowed until I have held my nose, because I was afraid that there was some blood is going to come out. So the Prophet ﷺ smiled, and she used to be a woman of sense of humor. She used to make the Prophet ﷺ smile. So she said that she held her nose in case that she will be bleeding. Also we have sanad sahih that Umar al-Khattab in his reign of his Khilafah, he had sent to Sawdah with like a pouch full of dirhams. She said, what is this? He said, dirham. She said, oh, it looks like dates, and she had given it away for the sake of the poor people. She was a very righteous woman. Sawdah radiallahu anha, she said, Messenger of Allah, if we die, Uthman ibn Mad'un, he would lead us in the prayer until you come back. He said, Ya daughter, O daughter of Zam'ah, if you knew what is about the death, you would have known that it is much severe than what you think. So that means when we die, so that means the death is not really as easy as you think. Sawdah, she had died actually at the end of the time of Umar al-Khattab. So the time of his reign of his Khilafah, just before the Khilafah transferred to Uthman, she died. Radiallahu anha wa ardaha. Finally, we come to the last thing that we could narrate in the biography of Sawdah, is that in the Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, and the Bukhari is the wording for him, he says that Utbah ibn Abi Waqqas, and he is the brother of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, he said to him, I had made an intercourse with the slave of Zam'ah, the slave woman of Zam'ah, and there is a pregnancy, so go ahead and take the child. So when it was the day on the year of the repossession of Mecca, Sa'd, he came to take the child, and he said, this is the son of my brother, my nephew. And he had told me and also counseled me and told me that he had prompted me to take the child. So Abd ibn Zam'ah is the son of Zam'ah, and he happens to be now the brother of that boy, because he is now the son of the female slave of his father. So he said, verily, he is my brother, and he is the son of the slave married to my father, which is not married to, which is a slave of my father. So he had been born while he was born while she was with my father. So that means she's not allowed to touch her. She's my wife. She's the woman of my father. So they went to the Prophet ﷺ to complain. Sa'd, he said, Messenger of Allah, this is the son of my brother. And actually he told me to take him because he believes that he's the one who is the father of that child. Abd ibn Zam'ah, he said, no, Messenger of Allah, he is my brother. And he is the son of the female, the slave of my father. And he was born while she was his slave. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, okay, it is for you, O Abd ibn Zam'ah. And then he said, the Prophet ﷺ, Al-waladu lil-firash. Verily, always the son belongs to the legitimate relationship. The firash means the bed. وَلِلْعَاهِرِ الْحَجَرِ. And the one who fornicates, or the one who is not really having a legitimate relationship, he has the hajar. Hajar means the stone, means nothing. Then he said to Sawdah bint Zam'ah, the Prophet's wife, he said to her, احتجبي min, meaning put your hijab on yourself from him, because he had seen some similarity in the faces between Utbah, the brother of Sa'd ibn Waqqas, and that boy. So this boy, he never seen her until he died. So he never seen her at all. Now from this hadith, we learn a lot of things. And again, I'll narrate the story so you can understand what we're talking about. This is the father of Sawdah. He had a slave. And she was with him. And while she was with him, Utbah, the brother of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, he had a relationship with her, an affair. And he believed that she got pregnant from him. And it was the case, because the boy would later on look like him. And he said to his brother, as soon as you see the girl, take the boy from her, because it's my child. So when it was the year of the conquest, Sa'd ibn Waqqas, he took him and he said, this is my nephew, son of my brother, and he told me to take him. Abdullah ibn Salam, he said, no way, he is my brother, and he's the son of the slave of my father, and he was born while she was the relationship with my father. So that's when they complained to the Prophet ﷺ, and Sa'd, he said, Messenger of Allah, he is the son of my brother, and he had told me to take him. So Abdullah ibn Zam'ah, he said, no, he's my brother, and he's the son of the slave of my father. He was born while the relationship was between the slave and my father. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, it is for you, Ya Abd, I mean, it is your brother. And he said to the Prophet ﷺ, and he said also to Sa'd to tell his brother, that is, Al-Walad al-Firash, the son belongs to the legitimate relationship, and for the one who is not having a relationship legitimately, then he has nothing, Al-Hajar. Then he said to Sawdah, whom supposed to be his what? His what? To the boy? His sister. He said to Sawdah, that is, ihtajibi, you have to take hijab, put your hijab from him. Why? Because he had seen similarity between the boy and between Utbah, whom he said the Prophet he's not going to get them. He is not going to be his son. But he's seen similarity. I mean, reality-wise, maybe DNA-wise, he is the son of Utbah. But in terms of the judgment of the Sharia, he will get nothing. He will be belonging to the couple who have the relationship between each other. So he said to her, have a hijab from him. So this is for the sake of what we say, there is a doubtful case. And because of that, he said to Sawdah, that means he's your brother in terms of inheritance, but he's not your brother in terms of what? Making haram between you and him. That means he's not your mahram. So in terms of inheritance, he will inherit you. He will inherit from your father. But in terms of clear cut, because you could see there's a similarity between him and the one who had done the illegitimate relationship. This tells us a lot of things, as I said, when we say about the ahwat. Al-ahwat means to be on the safe side. Now we're going to ask the brothers from this hadith a number of questions. We say, the mother of your wife, is she a mahram on you or not? Put your finger up, you know. Mother of your wife, yes sir. She mahrams on you, is it from the day that you consummate the marriage, or just the day for making the contract? From the contract. So from the contract she becomes straight away haram upon you. Right. Also, the woman, the husband of her daughter, is it haram on him to marry her or not? Yes or no? The husband of her daughter. Yes, because it's the same thing, because it's the mother of his wife. It's vice versa. Husband of her daughter, she is the mother of his wife, isn't she? Right. And that takes place from the moment that we make the contract. Right. What about the mother of your wife from suckling? Do you understand that? That means the wife of yours, she has a real mother, which we said she's haram upon you to marry her. But she has a mother from suckling, that she suckled from her, nursed from her more than 5 times. So she became her daughter through a rada'. Now, is that haram on him to marry her or not? The mother of his wife through rada'. Yes or no? Please up. Yeah. Why is it haram? Can I see your face? Why is it haram? Reason. Right, he says because the reason Sulaim, she is the foster aunt of the Prophet ﷺ, so she is allowed to sleep in her house. That means she became his aunt. Yes, okay, but there's a hadith, yes? So whatever is haram from the blood relationship is haram from the suckling. So whatever is haram from the blood relationship, so the الرضاع يحرم وحرم النسب. The suckling would make forbidden, so haram, what the blood makes relationship. Okay, but you see here, what made the mother of the wife is to be haram on the husband to marry her is the blood relationship. Do you understand that? And there is no blood relationship between the mother and the wife. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay, again, what made the mother of the wife to be haram on you to marry her is the blood relationship between the mother and the wife, the mother and the daughter. But in this case, there is no blood relationship. Do you understand that? There's no relationship between them, because what made this is different from your mother from the radha. This is now, okay, what made the wife, the mother of the wife, haram on you, okay, because of that she, her blood mother. And that is why Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, in contrast to the other scholars, he says, okay, it is allowed, she's not a mahram. She's not a mahram. And this is like the case of what? Sawdah with her brother, which is a doubtful one. And that is why she said to her, yes, he will take the mirah, but he will not be a mahram for you. You have to make hijab with him. So here, now we ask the questions. Are you allowed to marry the mother of your wife through fostering? No. We are now combining between two things. That she is the mother of your wife through suckling, okay? She is, in terms of the mother of your wife, yes, but we can't marry her because of what? The doubt. So in terms of that she is the mother of your wife through suckling, yes. But in terms of marrying, where there's a doubt, same thing with Sawdah. Same thing with the husband of your daughter. So the husband of your daughter is a female, she's not allowed to marry him. Same thing if that husband is through suckling. Okay? So, right, the husband of your daughter through suckling. That means your daughter is not the daughter which is your daughter by suckling. Right, okay, so here we find that the al-ahwat, madhab al-ahwat means we need to be on the safe side. This is the companion that is Sawdah into Zam'ah radiallahu anha wa ardaha, and the biography is being gathered by Usd al-Ghaba and al-Isabah and other books as well. And I tried to make as many authentic narrations because there are plenty which are not authentic. Okay, I'm coming now to the following companion, that's a male companion, Abdullah ibn Salam radiallahu anhu. Okay, Abdullah ibn Salam he is Ibn al-Harith, his kunya is Abu Yusuf. He is from the lineage of Yusuf alayhi salam. And he is from Bani Israel, and he's from the Ansar later on. So he's from the Ansar, and in terms of he was as well their ally. And he was from the Jews who are called Banu Qaynuqa, because there are Jews, Banu Nadir, Banu Qurayza, and he's from Banu Qaynuqa. His name at the beginning was Al-Husayn. The Prophet ﷺ, he changed him to Abdullah. So his name is now Abdullah ibn Salam radiallahu anhu wa ardah. And his father is Salam. The Prophet ﷺ, when he came to the Medina at the beginning, he embraced Islam. Some of the scholars, they say no, his Islam was later on, but actually the correct one is that his Islam was from the beginning. When the Prophet of Allah came from Mecca to Medina, he came to pay him a visit, and as soon as he saw him, he said, "This face is not the face of Allah." And he heard him saying the first words, that is, أيها الناس أفشوا السلام وأطعموا الطعام وصلوا الأرحام وصلوا بالليل والناس نيام تدخلوا الجنة بسلام. That is, spread the salam, feed the poor people, join the kinship, and pray while the people are asleep. You will enter Jannah in peace. Right. We have a story which Anas radiallahu narrates for us, that the Prophet ﷺ, when he came to the Medina, Abdullah ibn Salam, he was in his palm trees, so he came to the Prophet of Allah to test him for his prophethood. So I'm going to ask you about three things. No one would know them except for a prophet. The reason he was asking this question because he's a rabbi, son of a rabbi. So if he said, if you told me the answers for those three things, I would believe you. So he's asked him the first thing about the similarity between the child and his father or his mother. And also he asked him about the first thing that would make the people together before the day of resurrection. And the first thing that people would eat in paradise. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Jibreel just told me about at the moment. He said, Jibreel, this is the enemy of the Jews. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, verily, as for the similarity between the child and his parents, if the water of the man, the semen of the man, preceded the water of the woman, then he would be looking like his father. And vice versa. If the woman's water had preceded the man's water, then the child would be looking like his mother. And you know there's another hadith regarding the what? Not regarding this, regarding what? Male? Gender? Oh, the gender, originally gender. It's correct, gender. Male and female. So what is the difference between the male and female, you said? Goes on top. إذا على ماء الرجل. Right. So this one preceding, another one is on top. If the man's semen will be on top, then the gender will be male. And if the woman had been on top, then it will be a female. So he says, and the first thing that he gathered the people before the day of resurrection is a fire coming from the east. And it will gather them to the west. And this is the first thing before the day of resurrection will take place. That means the last sign of the worldly signs of the day of resurrection. And the first thing the people would eat in Jannah is what? The whale's liver and the head of a bull. Anas radiallahu anhu, straight away he said, Abdullah ibn Salam, he testified that he is the messenger of Allah. Abdullah ibn Salam, he said then, messenger of Allah, the Jews from Banu Qaynuqa are liars. If they heard about my embracement of Islam and believe in you, they will belie me, and they will also call me names and lie about me. So hide me and then send for them and ask about me before they know about my embracement of Islam. So Prophet ﷺ, he said to the Jews, what is Abdullah ibn Salam? He said, he's our master, the son of our master, our scholar, the son of our scholar, the best, the son of the best. Prophet of Allah said, what about if he embraced Islam? Would you embrace Islam? He said, no way he would embrace Islam. No way he would do it. Dare he do it? said, Allah, come out. Son of Salaam, come out. So he came out. And he said, I bear witness that there is no God worthy of worship except for Allah alone. And I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. He said, he is the most evil, the son of most evil. The ignorant, the son of the ignorant. Allah said that, he said, didn't I tell you, messenger of Allah, they're liars. Anas also, he says, another narration for this incident, that when the Prophet of Allah came to the Medina, the people, they said, Prophet of Allah came, Prophet of Allah came. And they started to wait until Abdullah ibn Salam had heard while he was in his palm trees. So straight away, he came and he had heard from the Prophet ﷺ, and he went back to his family. And when the Prophet of Allah, he was with him on his own, he said, I testify that you are the messenger of Allah. And of course that this is linked to the first story after asking him the 3 questions. And he said to him that you verily came with the haqq. And you know that the Jews, they know that I am their master, the son of their master, the most knowledgeable, the son of the most knowledgeable of theirs. Ask them about, they know about my Islam. Because if they know about my Islam, they will not say the truth regarding myself. So he sent for them and they came. Prophet of Allah asked them, O Jews, woe to you, fear Allah. You know that I am the Prophet of Allah, truly the messenger of Allah, and I came with the haqq, with the truth. So embrace Islam. He said, we don't know, we have no knowledge of this. Prophet ﷺ, he said, okay, what do you think of Abdullah ibn Salam? He said, he's our master, the son of our master, the most knowledgeable, the son of the most knowledgeable. He said, what about if he embraces Islam? God forbid, no way. He said, okay, Ibn Salam, come out. And he said, woe to you, fear Allah. By Allah, you know that he is the messenger of Allah, truly. He said, you have lied. Anas, Prophet of Allah, he said, come out, get out. So Anas, he said, the Prophet of Allah, he said to them, get out. For verily you are liars. From his virtues, we find the following. That the Prophet ﷺ, he said that he is from the people of Jannah. We have this documented by Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas when he said, I've never heard the Prophet of Allah saying to anyone walking on the land that he is from paradise except to Abdullah ibn Salam. And also, he said that Abdullah ibn Salam, Ashiru Ashrah, the 10th of the 10. So we have 11 now. People being giving glad tidings of paradise. Sa'd ibn Waqqas, he said, the Prophet ﷺ was brought a platter of food, and we started to eat along with him, and something had left in it. Prophet of Allah, he said, there will be from this alley a person coming from the people of paradise, and he will eat what is left. Sa'd ibn Waqqas, he said, I left my brother Umair, and he was making wudu. So I thought maybe inshallah it will be my brother. But Abdullah ibn Salam came and had eaten it. And this is a testament from the Prophet of Allah that he is in paradise. And he who testifies for him that he is in paradise, then he will be in paradise and from the inhabitants of paradise. And as I said, Mu'adh ibn Jabal, he said, when he's about to die, that the Prophet of Allah, he said, I heard him saying that he's the 10 of the 10 people who will enter paradise. There's another story. A man says that I was sitting in a circle in the masjid of the Prophet, and there was a good sheikh in it, looking good, and it was Abdullah ibn Salam. So he started to talk to them about Qala Allah, Qala Rasuluh. Then when he's about to leave, the people said, he who wants to look at a person from the people of paradise, then let him look at this person. Allahu Akbar. From his virtues as well, his knowledge that he learned from the Prophet ﷺ. He learned that in the times of fitna, the person should make sure that he does abide with his house. Here we have Abdullah ibn Mu'qal saying that the Prophet ﷺ, Abdullah ibn Salam had told Ali not to go to Iraq. So he told him not to go to Iraq. And he said that the Prophet ﷺ, he should be with it. Ilzam. Come, stick to it. Don't go. For verily, if you left it, you will never see it. And that is why Ali, he said, verily, he is a righteous man from us. Abu Musa, he says, I came to the Medina and Abdullah ibn Salam, he was sitting in a circle. And actually he's his son, Abu Burda, the son of Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. He said that I came and he was sitting in a circle and he was in khushu' and submissiveness, showing his, mashallah, the knowledge coming up. You know, the person who is knowledgeable, straight away you will see it on his face. Abdullah ibn Salam, he says, my name was in Jahiliyyah and Husayn. The Prophet of Allah called me Abdullah. Some verses were revealed regarding myself, which is the verses, Surah Al-Ahqaf, وَشَهِدَ شَاهِدٌ مِّن بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ عَلَى مِثْلِ. And that is verse number 10. قُلْ كَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكُمْ وَمَنْ عِنْدَهُ عِلْمُ الْكِتَابِ. Surah Al-Ra'd, verse 43. Those verses were revealed for Abdullah ibn Salam. Ahqaf number 10 and Al-Ra'd 43. Mu'adh ibn Jabal radiallahu anhu is about to die. It was said to him, "O Abu Abdul Rahman, counsel us, give us advices." He said, "Okay, make me to sit. Verily al-ilm, the knowledge, and iman, you should go and search for them. And he who finds them, he will be finding them with 4 people. Uwaymir, that is Abu Darda, Salman al-Farisi, also Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, and Abdullah ibn Salam." So this is how the scholars sometimes, they would advise you to listen to so-and-so and so-and-so from the scholars. They've got a sunnah here to follow. So here, Mu'adh ibn Jabal, the great scholar that we have discussed a long time ago, he said, if you want to seek knowledge, seek from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud and from Salman al-Farisi, Abu Darda, and Abdullah ibn Salam, who was a Jewish and he embraced Islam. For they have heard the Prophet of Allah saying that he is the 10 of the 10 who will enter paradise. Also Mu'adh, when about to die, Yazid ibn Umayrah, he sat next to his head and he was crying. Mu'adh said, "Why are you crying?" "I'm crying because I'm going to miss the knowledge. I'm about to die." For verily, he said, "No, the knowledge will not die. Seek it with those 4 people." He mentioned again those 4 people I've mentioned. From his, as well, virtues that the Prophet ﷺ had given him lockdown, that you're going to die while you're holding to the al-urwa al-wuthqa, is the strong knot in Islam. The strong knot, urwa. Mullah ibn Salam, he says, while I was asleep, it's a dream, a vision, a man came to me and he said, "Get up." Took hold of my hand and I went with him, and I saw a path on my left. So I wanted to go onto that path. He said to me, "Don't go onto that path, for verily it is the path of the people of the left." And then I saw another path which is very clear and also straight, and it was on my right. So he said to me, "Take that path." And then he came to a mountain. He said to me, "Climb." So every time I try to climb, I go and fall onto my buttocks. So I tried and I couldn't. That's in my dream. Then he took me to a column. The head of it, or the top of it, is in the heavens, and the bottom of it is on the earth. In the top of it, there is a ring. So he said to me, "Climb to that ring." So I said, "How can I climb this?" And you know the top of this column is in the heavens. So he took hold of my hand and he threw me. And when he threw me, I hooked myself onto that ring. And then he hit the column, the pole, and it collapsed. And I was still hooking to that ring until I got up in the morning. The dream is finished now. I came to the Prophet ﷺ and I told him the dream. So the Prophet of Allah is an interpreter of the dreams. He said, as for the path that you've seen on your left, this is the path of the people of the hellfire, the people of the left. As for the one which you have seen on your right, for verily it is the path of those who are from the right. That means the people of paradise. As for the mountain, this is the rank of martyrs, and you will not get it. This is a prophethood. That means Abdullah ibn Salam is not going to die as a what? As a martyr. You see, this is a martyrdom, and he ain't going to get it. As for the column, the pole, verily it is the pole of Islam, column of Islam. As for the urwa, the knot, this is the urwa, the knot of Islam, and you will be holding on to it until you die. That's another prophethood. That means you're going to die as a what? As a Muslim. And it was the case, as the Prophet had said, this man's Islam was good, and he held on to it until he met Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you look back into this dream, that dream, those are the dreams that you should really be careful to make sure that you memorize them in order to narrate them to the interpreters. It's a dream where you find there is paths, you find heavens, you find, for example, you are happy with it. So all of those things. So this now, the path from the right and the path of the left. Look at the difference. Number one, he said, Ash-Shimal. Ash-Shimal is the left, and the right is called the Yameen. Some from the other they call Yasar. Yasar is not the left. Yasar means good. And we, as students of knowledge, sometimes they would tease those people who are not knowledgeable just to tell them, Allahumma ja'alni min ahli Yasar. Oh Lord, make me from the people of the Yasar. Why? God forbid. What are you talking about? Because Yasar, they think is what? The left, but it's not. The left is a Shimal. So the one who student knowledge said, he said, Ya Ameen. And the guy who was not really knowledgeable said, what are you talking about, these people? So the Ahl al-Yasar, the good people. The Shimal is the left. So this is number one, Shimal and then Yameen. فأما من أوتي كتابه بيمينه وأما من أوتي كتابه بشماله أو من وراء ظهره. Those people will be given from the back and with the left. The ones are the people of the hellfire. Now, also we find that the people on the path that is in the right, it says clear, واضحة, بينة, واضحة, clear, مستقيمة, and straight. And that's when the Prophet ﷺ, amongst the companions, he drew a line. And that line, there's a characteristics of it. Number one, it's straight. And then he took on the right, on the left, short lines. Those short lines, they're not straight as the long line. Also, in lengthwise, that one is longer than the short ones. And he pointed his hand onto the middle line and he recited the following verse. وَأَنَّ هَذَا صِرَاطِي مُسْتَقِيمًا فَاتَّبِعُوا وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا السُّبُلَ فَتَفَرَّقَ بِكُمْ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ. This is my path, straight one, follow it, and don't follow those little paths. For every path of those, Prophet he said, there is a shaitan calling the followers to it. Those paths are short, whereas the haqq is one long. So for the person who wants to establish the haqq, let's say he wants to establish the Islamic empire or the Khilafah, so it's to be a long process. You have to earn it, basically. So it's not just to go and kill the Khalifa and kill the leader, kill the kingdom, and khalas, will be Khilafah. It doesn't work. Shortcuts. Shortcuts will never work. It has to be that long path where people are going to be, for example, caring about their aqidah and caring about even their, short dresses, short garments, put your thumb above your ankles, all of that. Not those people who would say to the other people to put them down, make them feel, put them off. You're talking about this qushur. Qushur means that the skin. talk about the core of the matter. Talk about jihad. SubhanAllah, the core of the matter is jihad, brother. The core of the matter is not the jihad. The core of the matter is the aqeedah. It's the aqeedah, it's not the jihad. Jihad is a method. It's a tool. It's not a target. My target is to achieve the correct aqeedah. And how can I expect from you talking about jihad while you can't make jihad against yourself by putting a short garment below, above your ankles? Logically speaking, if you can't carry 5 kilo weights, you can't carry what? 100 kilo weight. No way. So that jihad you're talking about is the ultimate. You're going to carry that 100 kilo. I mean, talk about that 5 kilos, which is the shortness. So you can't fight yourself against having a garment above the ankles. So when we tell you about this, you start making excuses, or I'm not doing it out of pride, and all of that excuses, subhanAllah. You're not expected to give yourself for the sake of Allah like that. Sacrificing yourself for the sake of Allah needs a lot. You have to train yourself. As I said, you have to earn it. Right. Also from this, we have learned that the Prophet ﷺ, he said to him that you're not going to be a martyr. Yes, you're not going to be a martyr, but he's in what? He's in Jannah. The Prophet ﷺ given him the Jannah. And there are things being given to the people of Jannah who were not given to the martyr and were not given even to the prophets. Like, for example, those pulpits of lights were given to the people who love one another for the sake of Allah. And the ones who visit one another for the sake of Allah. You could have a martyr who has done that already. A martyr plus, it's called martyr plus. It's a martyr and there's martyr plus. And the people who visit one another, the one who sit with another for the sake of Allah, the one who give for the sake of Allah. So those are the ones who advise one another for the sake of Allah. So all of those, they will get pulpits of lights which are admired. Admired by the prophets and the martyrs. Admire doesn't mean they don't have it. You can admire something if you don't have it. If you have it, you don't admire it. So, now also Abdullah ibn Salam, he's seen another type of dream, similar one. He said, I was like in a posture. And in the middle of the posture there was a column, a pole. In the top of the pole there was a knot. It was said to me, climb. I said, I can't. So a servant came to me and he had held me from the clothes and he lifted me up. So I hooked myself onto that knot. So I just woke up while I was holding to it. So I went to the Prophet and told him, he said, the posture is the posture of Islam. That pole is the pole, the pillar of Islam, and that knot is the what, which is the strongest knot, La ilaha illallah, and you will be holding onto it with Islam until you die. Also from his virtues, that he is from the people who would receive his reward twice. Why? Because he was a Jewish. Prophet of Allah said 3 people will receive their reward twice, double. A man from the people of the book, Christian or a Jew, he believed in his prophet, that is Musa alayhi salam or Isa alayhi salam, and then he believed in Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Abdullah ibn Salam definitely is one of them. And also the second one, Al-Abdul Mamluk, the one who is the slave. If he had given the rights of Allah and the rights of his masters, he will receive his reward doubled. And a man who had a girl, so he had looked after her, he nurtured her, he brought her up, and he taught her, and he made her to be learned properly. And then he had freed her, that girl, after she was a slave, and then he married her. Because of her teaching her and because of that marriage, he will receive his reward doubled as well. Right. We have now, alhamdulillah, come to the end of the biography of Abdullah ibn Salam, and we leave you for questions and answers. And the following companion will be Ammar ibn Yasir, and from the female companions we will be talking about Hafsa, Maymuna, inshallah. Now, تفضل يا عرفان. عارف. Where is عرفان? عرفان, where is عارف? You're behind the computer.
Regarding the hadith was the conflicts of life, and the prophets would be the best individuals, so wouldn't they have the best multiple? We said they envy those who love the Quran and have the conflicts of life. So when the Prophet said we have the best
The Prophet will have the best of what?
those who love the Quran, that's the ones who have the conflicts of life. Wouldn't the Prophet be the best of those?
Now, when we talk about things that be given to some companions or some people in paradise and others will be admiring them, it doesn't mean that the others are less than them. We have said that. So the prophets are rank number one. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَمَنْ يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ. The ones who believe and obey Allah and His Messenger, they are with the ones whom Allah bestowed upon them His favors. And He's mentioned them, one of the prophets, that number one prophet. And then the martyrs. And you know that the martyrs have merits that the prophets didn't have them. Like for example, that he will be given the crown. But the other prophets better than him. He will be, for example, given he will be having his blood to exude fragrance. It's not for the prophets. The prophets better than them. Same thing for that. But I just said there could be as well prophet plus. You understand me? And plus. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is the best. He is in the highest. And he's got his house is the highest in paradise. Now,
you spoke about the three types of people that get their rewards double. Is that for which rewards? Is it for all their rewards or is it up to standard?
all the rewards that they used to, and the good deeds they used to do before they embraced Islam, for that, and also the rewards afterwards, it will be doubled. Because their belief in the Prophet, not the person who is secularist, he has to be a Christian believing in his Prophet. Whether he had believed in the Prophet of his, and he had a Sharia which is being twisted or forged, like the Sharia of Paul, but still he believed in the Prophet, and his search made him into what? To go into Islam. Because a person who is upon the first Sharia of Isa alayhi salam, he's not Christian, he's what? He's a Muslim. So we believe that the disciples of Isa are Muslims. So the Christians are the ones who actually, when Allah spoke to them, Ya Ahl al-Kitab, lima talbisuna al-haqqa bil-batil. Those are the people of the book. But the ones who are like the disciples, al-Hawariyun, Allah will not speak to them, lima talbisuna al-haqqa bil-batil. You're confusing people with the haqq bil-batil, because they're upon the haqq. So they receive the reward doubled. That means they will get the reward of theirs, which is before, and the reward which is after. Because they believed in two prophets. And the Prophet Muhammad and the Prophet Isa. Okay? Is it for their entire life? For their entire life, they might receive even more than that. Because once they embrace Islam, you know that we are Muslims, we will be given 50 multiple of the rewards of the Sahaba. So we get more than double, inshallah. So he will be, if he's holding to the companions, he will get the multiple of 50 of each companion. And even with that multiple, you're not going to reach the rank of the companion. Even with that. And you will be better than a companion, better as in more actions, not better as in totality, than a companion in terms of your fasting, or in terms of your night prayer, or in terms of, for example, of your charity. But if you add up your total, then majmu' al-kulli, the total will be for the companion. You will be not like him. Because Allah Azza wa Jal, He had made it as the following way, that you get the 50 multiple of their rewards. But they, Prophet of Allah said, that if you had to spend the mountain of Uhud in gold, and you will never be able to spend that, no matter how rich you are, even you are Qarun. Okay, you can't have that gold. You can't have the mountain of Uhud gold. There is no such thing that you could collect gold from the whole world, which is the mountain of Uhud. No way. If you spend that in charity, you will not receive, okay, the reward of one of them spending in charity, not gold, barley. You know how cheap is the barley? Whether he spends it a handful of his or even half. Do you understand that now? And that is why they said 1 hour with a companion better than the whole dunya. You just stay with enough 1 hour with a companion. Radiallahu anhu. Just to sit with a companion. Majlisu sa'ak with Ibn Umar. So those are companions, they are the Jeel, the generation that there was no replica for them. Those are the ones through them who received the Quran and Sunnah. And anybody who had tried to belittle them or ridicule them or demise them, he's actually trying to attack your Quran and Sunnah. But he's going through the witnesses. These are our witnesses. Wallahu a'lam. Jazakallahu khairan. Tafadal. Yes. He is from the descendants of Yusuf alayhi salam, and is from Bani Israel, from Banu Qaynuqa' the tribe. Now, تفضل. Every Yahud is from Bani Israel, but not every Bani Israel is from Yahud. Because from the Bani Israel is the Hawarim as well, the disciples, and the Prophet Musa alayhi salam, and Prophet Isa. They are Muslims, but every Jew is from Bani Israel. So the Jews from Bani Israel, but not every Bani Israel is a Jew. He could be a Muslim, he could be a Christian, he could be an atheist. Banu Israel, from Israel, and Israel is Yaqub alayhi salam. Now, تفضل uncle. Sorry, I didn't see you, uncle. Sorry. No.
You want to know who look after them in terms of food, drink, accommodation, and clothing.
All the wives, of course, we did not live all of them straight away, because some of them died straight away. The Prophet ﷺ, he did not bequeath, because everything he leaves is for the house of treasury, Bayt al-Mal. We don't really inherit, nor we bequeath. And that's a sign of a prophet. Because if the prophet is going to lead, and if he's going to be bequeathing and inheriting, people would say, look, he's having lots of money in order to give it to his own children and family. But once the people, they know that these people, they don't inherit, nor bequeath. So those are from the wives, we call them from Ahlul Bayt. And Ahlul Bayt, they do have a share into the Islamic State. They have a share. So any person from Ahlul Bayt, whether he belongs to Ahlul Bayt from the Prophet's wives, the Prophet wives themselves, or they are from the lineage, the offsprings from Al-Hasan and Hussein, radiallahu anhuma. So you come from, we call him the Sayyid, or call him the Ashraf, regarding which country you come from. Those people, if they are poor, they're to be given a share, like a salary. They're not to be given zakah. The only way you give them zakah, there is no supply and support for them except for the zakah. But the zakah is not allowed for them. So, but if there is a necessity, they take from the zakah. Because nobody's giving them the salary. So you could take a gift, but not a zakah. As the Prophet ﷺ did not take the zakah, because it's the dirty wash of the people. So they have, and that is why the time of the Khalifa Abu Bakr, the time of the Khalifa Umar, all of them, they were looking after. So, for example, we have Fatima, the daughter of the Prophet ﷺ, she, her husband was Ali ibn Abi Talib, he was alive to support her. And we had Aisha radiallahu anha, Umm al-Mu'mineen, she stayed in her room, in her house, and she was the mother of the believers, and of course she had Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, who was a rich man. He's like almost the second richest after Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu, Abu Bakr. And when he died, he left an inheritance to the daughter of his as well. And he also said to Aisha, if you had just, before, when I was healthy, I could have just given you such and such land as a hiba, as a gift. But now I can't because he's dying, radiallahu anhu. And when you die, whatever you give, it will be considered atiyah. And atiyah, it will be counted from the inheritance. Meaning, if you want to give atiyah to a person, it has to be from the will, Islamic will, which is the third. And it cannot be given to an inheritor of yours. Already is inheriting by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you can't give a will to your wife. Your wife inherits by the law of Allah. Same thing he said to his daughter, if I was really healthy, not on the deathbed, I could have given you what? That means giving you, like, for example, such and such land. And you're allowed to give when you are healthy a specific, for example, land or something to one of your children, not for the sake of being righteous, but for the sake of maybe he's in need. Let's say one of your children is poorer than the others. You're allowed to give him more, but you're not allowed to give him because he is more righteous to you or closer to you. You love him the most. Then this will be injustice. You have to be just between your children. So, also the wife, for example, Sawdah, she did not live until the end of Khilafah Umar al-Khattab. And Umar al-Khattab, if you just said, remember Uncle, we just said that he sent her a pouch full of dirhams, and what she did, she gave it to the poor people. So they were looked after by the Khulafa. Now, Zakah. تفضل.
Is it better to say التمسك بالسنة لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, or to say التمسك بما كان عليه أصحاب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم?
Is it better to say التمسك بالسنة or التمسك بما كان عليه أصحاب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم? There is no such thing as better. Okay? But what could be more fitting, appropriate, to be said according to what the people's understanding. So it could be used this, could be used that, could be used both. So in the students of knowledge here, when I say tamassuku bis sunnah, everybody knows the companions, mashallah. There's nobody that need to know that. I don't have to repeat that 100 times because they know we're Salafis, mashallah. So we are in the land where there's lots of water. I can't sell water. Do you understand that? You can't sell water in the land where there's water. So everybody knows about that. But if I say, when people who are nothing to do with the Salaf manhaj, tamassuku bis sunnah, they would think like we are the Ikhwan or the Tahrir, all of the tamassuku bis sunnah. But we are sunnah coupled with the understanding of the companions. So I would be saying, التمسك بما كان عليه رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وأصحابه, and also his companions. So this is, I could use it there more fitting, more appropriate than using the sunnah. So there's no such thing as one is better. Now, تفضل. Land? Are we allowed to take zakah on land? The land means I've got a land which is empty, yeah, or land which is got a house on it. There is no such thing. There is a zakah on aqarat. That means lands and buildings. There's no such thing. The dispute is among the scholars is when this land is being put for sale, for trading. Then you start counting. And there's two madhab for this. Two madhab. That means two opinions. One opinion says there is zakah on urud at-tijara, the merchandise. And another one, there is no zakah. And the madhab I adapt, following the scholars like Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah, that the ones who have said that there is zakah on urud at-tijara, we say to them, prove it. There's no proof. There's no proof. This is the madhab of Abu Bakr and Umar. Madhab of Abu Bakr and Umar radiallahu anhuma, that there is no zakah on the urud. Only the zakah on the items whom the Prophet ﷺ had mentioned, which is gold and silver. And from the gold and the silver, also the currency, because the currency are based on the gold or the silver. So the gold and silver and the banknotes. And from the animals, have the three types of animals and the likes, which are the camels, the cows, and the sheep and the goats. The camel and the likes, the camel and the llama. The llama and the cows and the likes, which is the buffaloes. And the sheep and the goats, there's something called mah, in Arabic, I don't know if you know it, which is sheep and goats. And from the crops, we have the following. We have the wheat and the barley. And we have the raisins, or sorry, the grapes and the dates. So those are the four items from the what? From the crops. There is no zakah on cucumber or tomatoes or pomegranate or plums or all of that. There's no zakah even on horses, which are more expensive than the camels. There's no zakah. Right. There's no zakah on the slaves. So 2.5%, we cut the slave in two, slice him, and give zakah his head and his hands. Now,
So the people who take the zakat, what's the difference between faqir and miskin?
there's faqir and miskin. What is the difference between them? This is what Al-Imam Al-Qurtubi in his tafsir had talked about, other scholars. And they differed regarding which is poorer, from the miskin or the faqir, and the other issue, who is the one who declares openly that I am poor. ليس المسكين, this the Prophet is not the miskin who is the one who is going to be asking for the luqmah or luqmatin. And other hadith as well, I for myself have adopted the conclusion of the Shaykh Al-Albani rahimahullah, which says, that is, al-faqir is poorer than the miskin. Because Allah started in the Quran, إِنَّمَا الصَّدَقَاتُ لِلْفُقَرَاءِ. It doesn't necessarily mean the faqir is mentioned before the miskin is poorer, but faqir. And the miskin also is faqir. But the miskin, sometimes he asks. Whereas the faqir, لا تعرفهم من التعفف. You don't know them because they are متعففون, which means what? They want to not to disclose their status. They are shy. They are like a praised pride, not pride which is to be blamed. Like they want to show humiliation, basically. The dignity is there, involved. Yes, the dignity is involved. So the poor does not show up. So you could have a miskin as poor as the poor, but the difference is sometimes he's what? He will kind of just give me, ask the ask. Allahu A'lam. And as I said, some people said miskin, poorer than the poor. But, no, fine.
Question from the last question about the people of Ahl Sunnah. So you mentioned that is their aqidah different from Salafiyin, or is Al-Ikhwan just different?
Al-Ikhwan al-Muslimun. When I said Al-Ikhwan, I meant the brotherhood. The brotherhood is a well-known, at the moment, sect. You could say them Hizb, Jama'ah, whatever you want to call them. They follow Hassan al-Banna, rahimahullah, whom had come up with an ideology, and his background was Sufi, Safi, and he had gathered the youth especially onto something which is called, you could say, principles are close to Khawarijism, close to revolutionism. And that is why they were, for example, at the time of Hassan al-Banna, made secret meetings in order to topple the governments and to take, the leadership. Those Ikhwan, Muslimun, they have many principles which are opposing the Haqq principles. One of them is the well-known saying of Hassan al-Banna, نتعاون فيما اتفقنا فيه ويعذر بعضنا البعض فيما اختلفنا فيه. We cooperate with one another regarding what we have in common, and we excuse each other from what we differ from one another. The Shaykh al-Albani, Shaykh ibn Baz, and other shuyukh, they have shown the mistake in this statement, is that يعذر بعضنا البعض, that means we are to excuse each other if we have a difference. That means to keep a close eye, and that's not right. What is al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahy anil munkar? Enjoining good and forbidding evil is not there. In any jama'ah that she wants to overlook and compromise Islam, they have to, sort of keep a close eye on the defects in order to widen the amount of people to come. Do you understand me? If you keep a close eye, don't criticize, people will come to you. Before I go ahead, I'll give you an example. Nelson Mandela, in South Africa, he was in the prison for a long time. When he came out, there was election. He's supposed to represent symbol of good, and people should to vote for him. Now, when he took the leadership, and then, he died after that. But before his death, there was an interview between him and I think, not Carter, maybe Jimmy Carter, could be. I can't remember, his friend. Anyway, the interview, I've seen it at the moment, I was listening just to the person who was questioning him, was a clever person. He said, in your election, you never talked about the side effects of taking drugs because of the AIDS. You did not talk about that. You did not say you're going to fight, the drug usage, or a legitimate sexual relationship which will spread the AIDS, with lots of AIDS. Is that because you want to gain as many voters as possible? He said yes. He confessed. So this is the similarity between him and the parties. They keep a close eyes to get more supporters. So they will give what the people want. And the people of Haqq will give the people what they need. There's a difference. I will give the people what they need, regardless whether they're going to sit one person for me or too many people. It doesn't matter. Because I'm not concerned how many people. Whereas they are concerned, our conference, thousands of thousands came to good. That's what they're concerned about. It's after the conference, how many thousand turned to that conference? The Shaitan conference is more than you. Shaitan conference is more than you. If you're going to boast about the number, subhanAllah, the number represents the bad side, not the good side, the losing side. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, بدأ الإسلام غريبا وسيعود غريبا كما بدأ. Islam started as strange and will return strange as it was. فطوبى للغرباء. So Tuba is a tree in paradise where the rider will not cross it for 100 years. The shade of it is for those who are about the strangers. صفهم لنا يا رسول الله. Who are they, these strangers? قال أناس صالحون قليل في أناس سوء كثير من يعصيهم أكثر مما يطيعون. There are few good righteous people among many evil people, the ones who disobey them more than the one who obeys them. So from the signs of the people of Ahl al-Haqq is they are few in number. And the signs of the people of Batil have to be large in number. So if you're boasting about how many thousand you've got, that means the signs of Batil. Because the Haqq is little, few. وَقَلِيلٌ مِنْ عِبَادِيَ الشَّكُورِ. Some, very few of my people are to be the shakur, is the one thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Most of them they will reject. So the sign of being too much is not a good sign. If I classify it, too many people, that means no good. I mean, there's something wrong. Why is you're being followed by too many people? We're not talking about the time of Imam Ahmad al-Tam, for example, all these great scholars. We're not talking about them. Talking about now. So we can't just say now these days, بيننا وبينهم الجنائز. Between us and them, the days of janazah. Because if it is the case, then our janazah very little compared to the janazah of their people, or Ahl al-Bid'ah, or the pop stars, and the Muslims are talking, or a person who's a mumathil, I mean, what do you call it? Actor and actresses. Subhanallah. Acting. So these people, they'll have lots of thousands of people behind them. So what? Nothing. Al-Haq will have few, but a few people, mashallah, they're good ones. Yes, when the scholars were really great scholars, Shaykh ibn Baz at his time, mashallah, when he died, had the whole haram, mashallah. The whole haram, even though it's not enough. Allahu musta'an. So we have another question. Last question. You ask a question. You ask a question. Somebody doesn't ask a question. Nobody has asked. Okay, well, between you two. So I'm going to choose a number 1 or 2. You choose the number and you get it. No, it's 1. Yallah. Regarding what? Chocolate. Yeah. I like it.
Well, given a kid, I realized he's got some
alcohol, champagne.
No.
Because chocolate's got champagne in it. Is that the one?
Yeah.
So what do you want?
I remember you mentioned before one time about gelatin.
Gelatin is different. Gelatin. Champagne, okay, is not chemically processed. Champagne is champagne. Gelatin is meat processed, called gelatin. It's not meat, it's called gelatin. It's not meat anymore. But this is champagne, mixed with champagne. So if you eat too much of them, maybe you're going to get drunk. You could get drunk on chocolate, so we don't want you to. It's not allowed. If you can't return them back to the shop, I would say bin them. Okay, we'll give you the question.
This one in your opinion
Yalla.
is it from the belief of Sunnah that you actually can have a dream of Allah or about Allah?
Is it from Ahl Sunnah? From Ahl Sunnah, what do you understand? I mean,
It's from the Aqeedah of Sunnah.
It's from the Aqeedah of Ahl Sunnah that the person is allowed to see Allah in his dreams.
If I was to say that I have a dream of Allah or about Allah, is this something that the Ahl Sunnah should confirm?
If somebody had seen Allah, he could just say, it, but we can't say describe him, because we don't know. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, رَأَيْتُ رَبِّي فِي أَحْسَنِ صُورَةٍ. In his dream, I have seen my Lord in the best of images. None of the companions said, describe him, O Messenger of Allah. So this is hadith اختصار الملأ الأعلى. So رؤية المؤمن to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is possible. But what you see, we don't can describe it. It's a good dream. It's a good dream. You've seen Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mean, there's no interpretation better than saying you've seen Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the interpretation of the best dream. Okay? But now we can't just say to you, for example, that describe it. Can't ask you, for example, how does he look like? Can't describe how is his hand. Then we start making a figure, which is not Allah Azza wa Jalla. But if somebody to convey to you, you should رأيت خيرا إن شاء الله. You've seen good, mashallah. This is good. Alhamdulillah. جزاك الله خيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.